Here's a question worth starting with. You probably work at, or have worked at, an organization that says it puts people first. It's in the culture deck. It comes up in all hands meetings. Leadership means it when they say it. So why does burnout keep getting worse? The answer isn't that leaders are lying. It isn't that they don't care. And it definitely isn't that people just need to be more resilient. The answer is that what a company says it values and what it actually rewards are two completely different things. And organizations, like people, do what they're rewarded for. Today we're going to break down exactly how that gap forms, why it's so hard to close, and what a real fix actually looks like. This is Decision Audits, the rule that explains almost everything. There's one principle that once you see it, you can't unsee it. Organizations don't behave according to what they value. They behave according to what they reward. On paper, most companies reward sustainable work, collaboration, healthy boundaries, long-term thinking. That's what the values page says. But watch what actually gets someone promoted. Watch who gets labeled high potential. In most organizations, advancement is driven by output volume, responsiveness, not judgment, availability, not effectiveness, short-term results, not long-term health. That gap between stated values and rewarded behavior, that's where burnout lives. The two employees. Picture two employees who delivered the exact same result on a project. Employee A escalated risks early, protected their team's capacity, and finished within scope. No drama, no crises. Employee B worked nights, absorbed last-minute changes without complaint, quietly fixed broken handoffs from other teams, saved the project. Who gets labeled high potential? In most systems, employee B, not because their manager is cruel, but because the system can see heroics. It cannot see prevention. When nothing breaks, the system assumes everything is fine. That is the first design failure. Prevention is invisible, and you cannot reward what you cannot see. The feedback loop nobody talks about. Here's what makes this problem so persistent. Even when leaders genuinely want to fix it, most executives are evaluated on hitting targets, on fixed timelines with incomplete information. From up there, burnout looks like downstream noise. They see delivery dates met. They see quarterly numbers hit. What they don't see is the invisible labor required to keep those signals green. The late nights that never appear on any dashboard. The rework absorbed quietly instead of flagged. The capacity stretched just enough to avoid triggering an alarm. So leadership makes decisions based on distorted data. The system looks like it's working because the system is filtering out the cost. The more pressure increases, the more heroics are required. The more heroics are required, the cleaner the metrics look. And the cleaner the metrics look, the more confident leadership becomes that everything is sustainable, until it isn't. This is why burnout so often spikes right after what looks, from the outside, like a success. A big product launch, a major acquisition, an aggressive growth phase. From the outside, great execution. From the inside, exhaustion catching up with deferred decisions. Why culture fixes make it worse. When leaders sense strain in the system, their instinct is to push encouragement. Be resilient, support each other, we're all in this together. Those messages feel humane. But inside a misaligned system, motivation becomes pressure. People hear encouragement as expectation. When leadership says, we care about well-being, while rewarding availability and speed, employees don't feel supported, they feel tested. They learn to push harder while appearing calm. That's how burnout becomes quiet. That's how exhaustion becomes normalized. Motivation works only when systems are aligned. Without alignment, it accelerates the very behavior leaders are trying to reduce. Real improvement doesn't start with wellness programs or resilience training. It starts with making the invisible visible. Here are the structural changes that actually work. Fix 1. Treat workload as a first-class metric. Most organizations track revenue, output, and deadlines. They do not track sustained overtime, role overload, or how much chronic emergency work a team is absorbing. The result? Workload becomes an unpriced cost. Leaders can't manage what they can't see. A real fix is simple. and uncomfortable. Treat workload as a measurable constraint, not tracking every hour, but being able to answer basic questions. Which teams are running above sustainable capacity? Which roles absorb the most unplanned work? Where are deadlines being met only through overtime? If leadership can't answer those questions, they're not managing performance. They're managing outcomes blindfolded. Fix 2. Redefine what high performance means. Right now, many systems reward firefighting, availability, and quiet sacrifice. A healthier system rewards risk escalation, scope negotiation, and process improvement. That means changing the performance language used in reviews and promotions. Always steps up becomes prevents recurring issues. Handles pressure becomes reduces future pressure. Can always take on more becomes improves the system's capacity. This isn't semantics, it's incentive design. People do what gets praised. Fix 3. Stop rewarding chronic heroics. In a healthy system, repeated heroics are a warning signal, not a performance highlight. If the same person keeps saving the same kind of failing project, the question shouldn't be, how do we reward them? It should be, why does the system keep creating failures that require saving? If heroics are required, the system is broken. Rewarding them guarantees it stays broken. That means chronic overtime triggers a process review, not praise. Repeated emergencies prompt an audit. And the rock star who keeps saving things should be evaluated on whether the system depends on them less over time, not more. Fix 4. Make capacity a hard constraint. Most leaders plan work as if people's capacity is elastic. It isn't. A people-first organization treats capacity the way finance treats budget: finite, visible, and enforced. When new work enters the system, something else must slow down, move, or stop. This forces explicit trade-offs instead of hidden sacrifice. Yes, that slows some decisions. That's the point. Speed achieved by burning people isn't efficiency, it's deferred failure. Fix 5. Align pay and promotion with system health. Leaders should be evaluated not just on delivery, but on sustainable execution, team stability, reduced rework, and predictable output over time. If someone hits their numbers while burning out their team, that is not success. It is debt, and debt always comes due. When companies say people first but reward burnout, it's not a lie. It's a design problem, and design problems are fixable, but only if you stop asking people to be more resilient and start asking systems to be more honest. That's the audit most organizations have never run. If this is relevant to work you're doing or work you're trying to change, I'd like to hear about it. Drop it in the comments or reach out directly. That's what this channel is for. I'm Randy, and this is Decision Audits.